What's going on, guys? Briar Rabbit here. Today, we're going to clear out my inbox. So every once in a while, I like to take some questions that either came through Twitter or through YouTube comments and put them in a video form and answer them that way. It's fun for me. I think you guys like it. I don't do it all that regularly, but if you'd like to see your question answered, either put it in the comments of this video or just shoot me a message on Twitter. With that being said, let's get to our first question from Dustin Holcomb. Do your kids play Destiny? Short answer, no. They did show some initial interest when the game was first released, when Vanilla Destiny was first released. Enough so that I actually ended up getting them a PlayStation 4 of their own in the living room so that we could play together. But they didn't really stick to it. They kind of enjoy playing on PC or Macintosh more. They like that mice and keyboard experience. And they also really enjoy Minecraft and CSGO. So they don't really play console games at all. So no Destiny for my kids. Next, we got Jose Marcial. What do you think the next DLC will be? Do you think that Eris can be a villain or like a spy? So I'm going to answer the second one first. I don't think Eris is going to be a bad guy. I think that Eris may have different motivations than kind of our characters or the speaker, but I don't think she is a bad guy. I think she just has different motivations. So I'm interested to see what Eris will kind of come to be, what her storyline will bring and unfold incoming DLCs, but I'm not so sure that she's going to be a bad guy. What do you think the next DLC will be? I'm really hoping that it's going to be a Cabal raid. What do I think it's going to be? I don't know. I really don't know. At this point, we have so little information from Bungie that it's really hard to tell, and there really is no existing roadmap as far as what Bungie's going to release in year 2. So we're really just going to have to wait and see. I would really like to see Cabal raid. That's what I'm hoping for, but I really have no idea what's actually going to happen. All right, Brandon Epperson says, Briar, they say there is going to be a bigger content than anything we've seen since The Taken King in spring of 2014, but do you really have hope for that? What Bungie has gave us currently has been a big letdown. SRL has been fun, but it's been a week now, and I'm no longer entertained just playing to help people through the raids anymore. So I do think there is going to be a larger DLC in the spring. I think we're going to get another Festival of the Lost type event in either late January or early February, and then maybe in March or April we'll see a bigger DLC-ish type content. I don't know if it's going to be paid DLC or if it's going to be free. I really have no idea what that's going to be. Bungie has not shared any details about it whatsoever, other than the fact that it's going to be somewhere between the size of the Taken King and the Sparrow Racing League. That leaves a lot of area to be filled. It could be the size of a Dark Below or House of Wolves style expansion, but we really don't know. I think we're hoping that it's going to be along the lines of Dark Below or the House of Wolves, and I think the community really wants a raid. But they do have to do something. They have to have something to keep players entertained. We can't be at 320 light when Destiny 2 comes out, I don't think. There has to be a reason for people to keep playing, and I think that a new raid, higher level gear, more Crucible maps, all of that stuff is necessary in year 2, and I think that Bungie knows that as well. Next up, Mason Torres asks, Hey Briar, love what you're doing in the community, putting all of these great videos. Keep up the good work. Now, to the question, do you think that auto rifles with the 5, 7, and 4% buffs from the original patch notes would have made much difference in the Crucible? Thanks for being so great, Mason. Thanks, Mason. Yeah, I do think it would have made a big difference. I think it would have made auto rifles OP. I actually think auto rifles are in a good spot right now for the first time in a long time. You can have success with auto rifles in the Crucible. However, there are better weapons in a lot of respects. So auto rifles kind of require you to keep a sustained fire kind of stream of fire going at your opponent's crit spot to be successful. And if your opponent is skilled with hand cannons or pulse rifles or any weapon that allows them to fire, duck behind cover, fire again, duck behind cover, that kind of action, it's going to make it difficult to succeed with an auto rifle against that person in a one-on-one engagement. That's the that's the advantage of having single fire or pulse rifle weapons over an auto rifle that really requires a stream of shots to connect. So I do think that auto rifles are competitive right now. If you use them correctly, if you use them at that medium to short range, they can be very good. But if you get them too powerful, we'll come into an area where the source regime is dominant again, and nobody really liked that. So I do think it would have made a big difference. I think it would have made auto rifles just a little bit too powerful. And I think that overall what we actually got from the patch as opposed to what they had advertised is better. Austin at T-Cove Taco says, when you are not playing Destiny, what games have you come to enjoy? So Fallout 4 is big on this. Although I am not as excited about Fallout 4 as I thought I was going to be, the game is actually somewhat of a disappointment to me just because how similar it is to Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas. I am still enjoying it. I also want to jump into the new Tomb Raider game because I really enjoyed the last one, but I haven't played it yet. But Fallout 4 is basically taking up all of my non-Destiny gaming time. Although there's definitely some Rocket League in there still. I do really like that game, but I've fallen off the bandwagon a little bit since its initial release in the summertime. Robbie Field says, how does being an old man affect your skill in Destiny? So Robbie's trolling me here. If you don't know Robbie, he's one of the co-hosts of Beastly Thought Show that we record live, or we broadcast live every Sunday night. He's definitely trolling me here, but I'm going to answer the question anyway because it's actually something I think about every once in a while. So as I have gotten older, my twitch reflexes have gotten slower. So when I play Destiny or any multiplayer online shooter, I find that to be successful, I have to outthink my opponents. I have to be smarter than my opponents because in most aspects, I'm not going to be as fast as my opponents. So when you see me playing Destiny, I might not be on the front lines all the time, jumping around with a shotgun. Shotguns for me are much more of a defensive weapon. What you will see me doing is trying to get sight lines on my opponents, trying to use head glitches, trying to use advantageous positions to defeat my opponents because in an even match, I can assume that my twitch reflexes aren't going to be as fast as my opponent. So that's essentially how I play multiplayer games, and that comes really from playing Call of Duty a ton. My Twitch skills were not as fast as many other people's Twitch skills in Call of Duty. So I had to use environments or my weapon or just thoughts, like the brain game of a shooter. I had to use that to my advantage as opposed to just pure Twitch skills, pure thumbstick skills. Jonathan Lozano at Toxin For the Win says, what do you prefer, Iron Banner Control or Iron Banner Clash? So I was one of the people that was really excited that they switched up Iron Banner a couple of Iron Banners ago. We got, or was it last Iron Banner? We got Clash as an Iron Banner playlist, and I was excited about it because I thought it meant that we may be seeing kind of a rotating playlist for Iron Banner in the future. I think that Clash went over like a bucket of shit. I don't think people enjoyed playing Clash in the Iron Banner. Clash is not a super complex game mode. It doesn't really lend itself well to team gameplay. You see a lot of lone wolves in Clash, even more so than you will in Control. Control is a bit more of a team-based game mode. What I would actually like to see is the Iron Banner switch over to having all of the 6v6 game modes kind of rotated through it on a monthly basis. I think that would be a perfect thing for Iron Banner because it would keep it fresher from one month to the next. I did like having Clash because it was a little bit different than playing Control for the last year that we've been playing Control. However, I do like Control better. I like Control as a game mode in Iron Banner more than Clash. I just think it's a more interesting game mode. Having to get people out there and capture points makes for a more mobile game than Clash, where you just had a lot of people kind of sitting back trying to protect their KDs. Control is more about, getting big scores, getting big plays, making sure that your team is scoring more points than the other team. And you need to get those control points to do it. So you have reasons to get out of your spawn, to get out of those sniping lanes, and actually go capture points. Clash, not so much. So I like Control more than Clash, but I'd love to see other team-based games in there, like Rift or other ones. Justin Holstein asks, how much Division do you see yourself playing in March? So The Division, to me, is one of the most anticipated games of 2016. I'm really looking forward to this game, and the main reason for that is because I think that I'll be able to play it with a lot of the players that I currently play Destiny with. I think that it's going to bring a lot of the same type of gameplay, meaning that I'm going to be cooperatively playing with my friends. I'm going to be playing PvP against other people, using the rule set inside of the game. The Division to me is very exciting. I'm worried about it. I'm hoping that there's enough content in the game. A lot of the complaints I've heard from people who have played the alpha that was private, I did not play the alpha, was that, it was cool, but we're hoping that it doesn't, what we've seen in the alpha isn't a significant portion of the game. It's not like 25% of the shipping game, which if you'll remember, when the Destiny alpha hit, was kind of a similar sentiment. We got to see the entire Cosmodrome essentially with the alpha of Destiny, and a lot of people said, well, it's really cool. I hope this isn't 25% of the game, which it ended up kind of being. So it worries me a little bit that I'm seeing kind of the same complaint about the Division's alpha. Again, it's a private alpha. I haven't played it yet. I am really looking forward to playing it. And I think that if it's good, I'll be playing it a ton come March. It's definitely one of my most anticipated games. Insect Shelf 3 says, do you feel the Sunbreaker nerf was a little overkill? It's hardly used, and because of the armor hit, Golden Gun shits all over it. Yeah, I do think it might have been a little bit heavy-handed. They did a lot to the Sunbreakers to nerf it. They took away some of the health regen capability. They took away some of the health. They took away some of the tracking on the hammers, and they took away some of the explosion when the hammers impacted. I think with the tracking and the explosion, they should have done one or the other. Both makes it feel a little bit weak to me compared to something like Golden Gun, which you run around with and instantly kill anybody you're aiming at. To me, there is a travel time associated with the hammers, so a little bit of tracking is appreciated there, and if you're not going to give us tracking, then there should be a pretty good area of effect with it. As far as the way the health regen works now, I think that works about right. I feel like that is a pretty good setting for it. Overall, it was just too hard to kill the Titans once they pop the Sunbreaker. Golden Gun should be able to take out a Sunbreaker. I honestly think that. So as far as health goes and health regen goes, I think it's sitting right, but I do think the hammers themselves need either a tracking buff or a area of effect buff. All right, our last question comes from the Skinny Choctaw. You'll see him in this video. I frequently run, all the content in Destiny with him because he is the founder of the Milky Sirloins and by association, the Milk House, which is the current clan. Skinny asks, how does one go about winning over your heart? I'm asking for a friend. Oh, Skinny, you already know that you are first in my heart, but this month's check is a little bit late. So that's going to do it for this video, guys. If you've got questions that you'd like to see me answer in future episodes of this series, then either tweet them to me at the Briar Rabbit or put them in the comments section below. That's normally where I'll pull questions from, either Twitter or the comments. Thank you very much for watching. Hit that like button if you like the video. Hit subscribe if you're new to the channel, and I'll see you guys next time.